In the last module, we learned about different phases of a relationship, why we become attracted to certain people, and I gave you proven techniques to express your appreciation. If you need to revise any of this, please go back to those videos before we begin today. In this module, we'll get a little deeper about how our childhood relationships with our parents play out in our adult relationships. I mean, have you ever wondered why you or your partner behaves the way you do towards each other? You will see how your parents can have a significant impact on you, and this will explain the behaviours and habits you exhibit in your adult relationships. Most of the time, most people are happy and can feel joy and love. But when we argue, our anxiety levels rise and we revert to patterns of behaviour that we learned when we were younger. We may become angry, withdraw, or become quiet. We may flare up, or we may be quick to placate and pacify. To explain this, let's take a look at the story of our brains. Because these are not random behaviours we exhibit in relationships, they are the direct consequence of the behaviours that we felt worked for us when we were children, and we only needed the love and protection of our caregivers in order to survive. And they are hardwired behaviours that our brains have retained from when humans were just reptiles. Although we may not want to behave the way we do, it has been so programmed into us for our survival, we automatically go to that response whenever we feel that our partner is making the relationship unsafe or is being irritating. As you can see, our brains have various areas. The brainstem, where our reptilian brain lives, this scans the environment, checking for danger, and we use it for our most basic senses. Then there is the limbic system, or mammalian brain, which we use for feeling, emotional memory, for fear, and for pleasure. Above this is the neocortex, which we use for intuition, thinking, symbolic deduction, logic, deciphering images, language, connection, and cooperation. In the front of our brains is the frontal lobe, where our self-awareness lies. When we are relaxed, all our brain is engaged, but when we are under pressure or our brain detects danger, our higher thinking brain shuts off, and we revert to the primitive behaviours we used before we evolved as humans, when we were reptiles in the swamp or cavemen. These are very basic but fast acting. It's the part of the brain we use if we, for example, accidentally stop in front of a bus. We don't stop to think whether we need to act fast to get out of the way, we just do it. When the brain picks up cues that it's safe, only then is it available and interested in experiencing and expressing aliveness. It has many ways of doing this, through play, creativity, nurturing, mating. However, when the brain picks up signals of danger, it'll go into protection mode. It'll do whatever it can to keep you safe. So you can see here how our brains have primal areas that take over in times of stress or high anxiety. Whenever we don't feel safe in our relationships, we almost instantly switch to those parts of our brains to take over. That's how we can be fine one moment and instantly be overcome with irritation, anger, or rage the next. What has happened is that primal part of our brain has taken over.